Thank you guys for coming today. Thank you for coming to Oliver's annual IEP. Go around and make some introductions first. I'm Mr. Bryan, Oliver's case manager. Here we also have Oliver's principal serving as the LEA rep, and we also have one of Oliver's general ed teachers here. The purpose of today's meeting is to go over his IEP and just to look at the different assessments we went over with him. Three of those assessments that we did were a Brigance, an easy CBM, and a series of informal tests such as Prodigy, an easy CBM, and just the general math quiz we give the freshmen. In class, Oliver does a great job working hard and participating in all the activities assigned. He's always trying to get the assignment accomplished and finished. Sometimes he'll struggle, but he'll always ask for help when he does. But testing-wise, the Brigance showed us that he's at a first grade level with his word recognition, word analysis, and reading comprehension. Now the norm reference test, that's more of a statewide where students at his level, based on his scores, that's what their reading level is. So he's really low in those areas. But when I gave him a CBM over reading comprehension of a third grade passage, his results are shown here. You see, he started off answering 12 out of 20, which is about 60%. But then each week, over the course of 6 weeks, we'd introduce a new reading strategy for him to practice with. That ranged from showing him how to mark the text to having him read his passages aloud to help him hear as well as see what he was reading. And by the end, he was scoring 75% of that 6-week period that we were testing him at. And then for this math test we gave him a Prodigy, easy CBM math test, just one of those, not a 6-week tracking period, as well as just a general math quiz. Now the general math quiz was on grade level. It was supposed to be 9th grade students should have been able to solve it. And Oliver didn't do very well on that. He didn't get any of the questions right. But when we looked at the Prodigy, he was scoring, getting correct answers with 5th grade fractions. And with those, they're already the same denominator, so he just has to add across. And he was able to recognize 2D shapes, as well as subtracting decimals. For 4th grade in the Prodigy, he was doing a really good job of recognizing what fractions were equal. Like 1 over 1 is the same as 2 over 2. And he did a great job answering division and addition with fractions, which is something that we had worked on in class. And with the easy CBM, he got a 63% on the 4th grade level, which is really good for him. We don't want, if he was scoring higher than that, he might be ready to move back into the general ed classroom. But if he was scoring lower, then we would need to do some more work. But 4th grade, 63%, perfect. So some strengths that I saw when working with Oliver. He does a great job of adding and subtracting with his numbers. So he does a great job of, if they have fractions of the same denominator, he's able to understand that he just adds the top and that part is done. With his reading, he does a really good job of adapting to new strategies given to him. So when we were using that easy CBM, his score increased a little each week. Sometimes it would dip, but he still was starting to use those strategies, and he could see that they were working. And he's also doing a lot better job of looking back and finding the answers in the text. On the Brigance, it was harder to do that than with the easy CBM. Some weaknesses that we found where he struggles with multi-step equations. So when you have to add or subtract multi-digit numbers, he has a hard time organizing his writing to where he can keep track of what he's doing. Another weakness that we saw was that he is really low on his vocabulary. He just needs to keep getting practice with that. And as he keeps reading, that'll steadily increase. And he's also kind of weak in his confidence in his abilities. From Easy CBM, he was more one-on-one. It was here's the online program, take the test, we'll go over your results later. But once he started on the Brigance, when he had someone in front of him asking him the questions, he was unsure of himself. So some short-term goals I'd like to see Oliver work on would be to solve multi-digit numbers. He's doing really good with adding and subtracting and multiplying numbers with 1, maybe 2. But anything with 3 or more, he's really starting to struggle with. So if we could get that to about 65% accuracy, that would be really beneficial to him. We'd also like to see him get 100% on those 3rd grade reading passages. The last test he took was at 75%, and I really think he can get up there if we just keep working on those strategies, and he'll get that by the end of this year. Some long-term goals for his next IEP, if he would be able to score 80% on 2-step equations, so that means getting x by itself by adding, subtracting, and then multiplying and dividing. He does a really good job with getting the first step. And just once he has more than one, he's not sure which step to do first. And then he would also like to start getting 75% on 4th grade passages. So once he gets that 100% on that 3rd grade, do that 1 or 2 times just to prove it. Move up to the 4th grade, start getting 65% on that. So some strategies that you guys could do at home to help improve that vocabulary, build that confidence, and work that multi-step problems would be to introduce some flashcards. Just like Quizlet has some great resources there, where it has like a flashcard, he has to say the definition, flips over, checks himself, and there's some games on that too that he could play kind of as a reward. And for 2-step, just keep problem solving. Just keep working different methods math-wise. Coolmathgames.com. That'd be a fun thing to do over the summer if it ever gets rainy or too hot outside. And then also just building reading strategies, going to the different reading programs at the local library will help a lot too. Just keep them excited doing math. And so that concludes his IEP meeting. He is definitely getting better each time we work on different subjects. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you guys for letting me work with your son. Have a great day.